After months of campaigning, the time is here to officially begin the tallying for the votes for New York's Democratic primary. Polls are closed, and all indications point to a tight race to determine the Democratic nominee for New York's mayor.
And with temperatures nearing 100 degrees today, New Yorkers braved the heat out at the polls, and candidates made their last-ditch efforts to turn out the vote.
Mamdani. He just seems to do a lot of the things for my future.
I am voting for Cuomo. I voted for his father years ago, and I'm voting for him.
Polls show the primary has narrowed down to a two-man contest between Andrew Cuomo and Zohran Mamdani. Welcome to our special election night coverage of New York's primary. I'm Jessica Moore.
And I'm Dick Brennan. Polls are now officially closed, and this year's Democratic primary will only be the second time in New York history that we've used ranked choice voting.
CBS News is currently estimating a total turnout of 1.1 million voters, most of whom turned out in person today. That translates to over a third of registered Democrats citywide, noticeably higher than 2021's mayoral primary.
Now, any results that start populating, as we say, okay, will be at the bottom of your screen. And we don't see anything yet. It's a little early. We do have team coverage tonight. Tony Aiello is covering Andrew Cuomo's watch party. Bauman is in Queens, where Zohran Mamdani's team has assembled. Jennifer Bisram is covering Brad Lander's campaign. And political reporter Marcia Kramer is standing by with experts, and we mean experts.
We'll check in with them in just a moment. But first, let's talk about ranked choice voting. The system allows voters to list up to 5 candidates on their ballots in order of preference. But voters don't have to choose 5. They can also choose to vote for 1 or 2 candidates. That means unofficial first choice results will be the first ones to come in.
Did you get that? Because I'm not sure I did. But if a candidate does not reach 50% of those first choice votes, then the ranked choice kicks in. It's a reminder it took 2 weeks before Eric Adams was declared the winner in 2021.
Here's a look at the first slate of candidates in the Democratic primary for mayor. There you have Zohran Mamdani, 43.1%. That is with 38% of the vote in. Andrew Cuomo at 34%, followed by Brad Lander, 13.3%, Adrian Adams, 4.4%, and Scott Stringer at 2%.
And we should point out that it's likely the early voting would be for Mamdani because that would be younger voters who were voting earlier this week, and those numbers will change significantly as the night goes on. And let's look at the second half of the field row right now. Probably is not going to mean much, but we got Myrie, Tilson, Ramos, Blake, and Bartholomew. So there you have it. And throughout the night, you can see live election results at the bottom of your screen. Keep an eye there.
Former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is hoping his long resume of public service will outweigh the scandals that ended his governorship.
Tony Aiello is live at his campaign headquarters in the West Village. Tony, how's it looking? It's getting a little busier there, I guess.
Yeah, well, you know, you're exactly right, Dick and Jessica. Team Cuomo was expecting the early vote totals tonight to favor Zohran Mamdani because these are ballots that were banked during the early voting period that saw a surge of interest this year from younger voters. The feeling was that Cuomo voters were much more likely to go to the polls on primary day. We are at the Carpenters Union headquarters. Cuomo ran with strong union support, and his campaign is counting on those unions for phone banking and get out the vote efforts. Tonight, they have been closely monitoring turnout in strongholds, including the Bronx. How fitting that a heated primary culminates on a sweltering day. Voters in Co-op City armed with water and determined to have their voices heard.
Because of the heat, we discussed that people may not come out. I hope it doesn't stop them. It's not stopping me.
Team Cuomo needs to run up big margins in the Bronx, in places like Co-op City, with voters like Joan McCanty.
He has been tested, and I know he can do the work.
Nice to see you. Thank you for the time.
A good night for Cuomo would be at least 50% of the primary vote cast in the Bronx. The borough, so important, the campaign sent longtime Cuomo top aide Melissa DeRosa to Co-op City to engage voters and hand out literature. Volunteer Sarah Danzig was happy to hear more than 200,000 voters went to polling places citywide before noon.
People are going to work today. People don't stay home because it's hot. And, you know, a lot of people voted early this morning. There were lines everywhere, that we saw early this morning. I do think people will probably vote after 4 o'clock. But voters like to vote, and Cuomo voters in particular like to vote. So we're feeling pretty good about it.
State Senator Jessica Ramos just gaggled with reporters here at Cuomo headquarters, speaking on behalf of the Cuomo campaign, and she said they're very happy with the strong turnout today, and they feel that that bodes well. Andrew Cuomo's been the front runner since announcing on March 1st, but any thoughts of a cakewalk are long gone. It's a two-man race. It looks neck and neck. Dick and Jessica, it strikes me what an interesting generational shift here. Andrew Cuomo was HUD secretary for Bill Clinton when Zohran Mamdani was still in diapers. I mean, that's how much of a difference there is between these two men in terms of age and certainly in terms of outlook. A Democratic socialist versus a mainstream centrist Democrat shaping up again, a two-man race.
Almost exactly half his age in the meantime, and miles apart, as you said, Tony, in politics too. Thanks very much, Tony. Now, turning to Zohran Mamdani, he started off relatively unknown, but quickly gained popularity with a campaign focused on improving the costs of living.
Ali Bauman is live at his campaign headquarters at a rooftop bar in Long Island City. Ali, give us a sense of what it's like where you are. These early numbers show him ahead. What's the reaction there?
Yeah, Jessica and Dick, things are really just getting started here. This was a later start to the party. Only a few minutes ago did the doors open. They were putting up the decorations just about, 15 minutes or so ago. Now, it has been a heated race between Cuomo and Mamdani, and as you mentioned, we are here in the heat on this rooftop bar in Long Island City. It is a fitting millennial core venue for this millennial progressive candidate who has really been energizing the younger Democratic voters throughout his campaign. Queens Assembly member Zohran Mamdani started primary day bright and early in Astoria Park. The 33-year-old Democratic socialist has been a dark horse in this race, starting out relatively unknown, but has been climbing the polls, at least one showing him neck and neck with former Governor Andrew Cuomo. Mamdani's campaign promise is to lower the cost of living for working New Yorkers by freezing rent for stabilized tenants, making city buses and childcare free, building 200,000 affordable housing units, and creating city-owned grocery stores. How does he plan to pay for all this? Well, by raising the corporate tax and taxing the top earners a flat 2%. Critics say Mamdani is too inexperienced and too idealistic, but undoubtedly he has managed to energize a base with his social media savvy and progressive platform.
What we offer is a way to sustain this city that I so deeply love. What we offer is a vision to keep New Yorkers in the place that they call home, and an antidote to the Trump administration and the hatred and the division that it spews. We are showing people that hope is not something that is naive. It is in fact righteous when it is built upon a plan and a vision. We are showing New York City that a better day is possible, and today is the first of many of them.
And Mamdani is endorsed by Bernie Sanders, AOC, and the Working Families Party. He is expected to show up here a little bit later in the night. It's going to be probably a late night here, but we will bring that to you as soon as he arrives. We're live for now in Long Island City, Queens. Ali Bauman, CBS News, New York.
All right, Ali, thank you. And one of the things about ranked choice voting, some of the candidates have teamed up to sort of cross-endorse each other. That is the case at our next headquarters. Let's go out to Jennifer Bisram.
Yeah, she's live at Brad Lander's headquarters, who cross-endorsed with Mamdani. She's in Gowanus, Brooklyn. Jennifer, how's it looking?
Hi there, guys. We are here at campaign headquarters for Brad Lander, who is, as we all know, the New York City comptroller. He isn't here yet, and polls are showing at a distant third, but still his campaign is in high spirits. They are very hopeful. They are very optimistic. Now, Brad Lander voted last week, Thursday, during early voting at John Jay High School and has been campaigning all across the city. Now, the New York City comptroller gained national attention after ICE agents handcuffed him earlier this month while he was escorting immigrants, leaving him hearings at federal immigration court. And we caught up with him a short time ago at the nearby subway station where he was greeting voters. Again, he didn't seem to be too worried that the latest polls have him at a distant third. Take a listen.
I'm feeling great this morning. I mean, there's just a hopeful energy for the future of the city. I mean, you got one candidate who's running just a dark, bitter, sour, backward-looking campaign, and you can feel New Yorkers don't want it. They want, even with Trump, even with the affordability crisis, even with all of Eric Adams' corruption, people want a hopeful future for New York City, and I'm feeling it out in the streets and really excited for today.
And as for that cross endorsement that you guys mentioned, we did ask Brad Lander about that, and he says one reason why he did that is because he does not want former Governor Andrew Cuomo anywhere near City Hall. Now, Brad Lander is expected to be here at any moment, and so is public advocate Jumaane Williams. Of course, we'll have much more for you when they both arrive. But for now, we're live in Brooklyn. Jennifer Bisram, CBS News, New York.
All right, Jennifer, thanks very much.
This is the first big Democratic contest since Donald Trump won re-election, and since the Democratic Party has really been floundering and will probably shape the future of the party. The primary has featured so many moments, from endorsements to cross endorsements, and as you just heard, even arrests.
Yes, and joining us from across the studio to look at all the campaign highlights and where things stand now is political reporter Marcia Kramer. With some guests, I think we know both of them, too.
We know both of these guests, both of you. We have O'Brien Murray and J.C. Polanco. But we do want to talk about some of the moments in the campaign. Let's start with the fact we were just talking about, which is the arrest of Brad Lander at an immigration court. Did that have an effect on this race, do you think?
It took the press for the day, but beyond that, it was a campaign stunt.
It was a campaign stunt, no doubt. But let me tell you, Brad Lander went from who knows Brad Lander to being on national television last night. The whole world now knows who Brad Lander is. He's been on every national TV show ever. And considering that he cross-endorsed Assemblyman Mamdani, it bode well for the Assemblyman, him having to get arrested. I'll tell you this, next idea, maybe just get arrested. You may get some points.
So let's talk about the endorsements. So Mamdani got endorsed by AOC and Bernie Sanders. Did that help or hurt?
It definitely helped, no question about it. I think the mistake Mamdani made on that was not rolling it out as one of her. It tied him to her earlier on. Luckily, she endorsed him the day after the debate when he hadn't done that.
At first, I thought it meant nothing because they're all socialists, and who are socialists going to support but fellow socialists? But something happens with AOC. She's gold with young voters. So when she said, I like this guy, a lot of young voters came out of nowhere and gave him the momentum he needed in the last couple of weeks.
Michael Bloomberg, he endorsed Andrew Cuomo.
He validated Cuomo, AOC validated Mamdani. I think at the end of the day, really what it comes down to is who's going to energize their base. And it's very tough for Cuomo in the sense that moderates don't come out and vote the same as the progressives do.
Mike Bloomberg has a lot of political capital in New York, especially up the Upper East Side, the Upper West Side, Park Slope, parts that he needs in order to win this primary tonight. And I think that former Mayor Bloomberg's endorsement meant a lot, not only politically, but financially as well.
With him comes a checkbook, no question about it.
So let's ask this question. Another event that happened was the decision by Eric Adams not to run in the Democratic primary and instead to run on an independent line. How did that affect the primary, the Democratic primary, and how does that affect the election?
Brilliant for Eric. He stays relevant as the mayor today, and relevant as the mayor in November for when he's running on the ballot again at this point. The next mayor will get 35% or less possibly for what we've got to do to win this race. But beyond that, what it also did was it took away the opportunity for Cuomo to team up with somebody else as an alternative, or for voters when Adams would have fallen off to go to Cuomo.
Smart for Mayor Adams to say, hey, listen, I don't need you. I'll see you in November. He doesn't have to lose this election tonight. He gets to see another day. And plus, he has a power of incumbency. And your viewers have to remember, you don't need the majority of the vote in November. All you need is a plurality. So Mayor Adams has a good shot in November. He's viewing, if I only need 20% plus one, I could do that.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. I'm going to throw it back to Jessica and Dick.
All right, guys, and we will keep in touch with you for the latest on what's going on. You'll be back.
In the meantime, let's take a look at some of the other closely watched races tonight. Jumaane Williams is seeking re-election for public advocate. All right, guys, keep it down on the couch. He faces a challenger from Queens Assemblywoman Jennifer Rajkumar.
And the race for city controller features Manhattan Borough President Mark Levine running against City Council member Justin Brannan for the Democrats. You see these are early numbers with Levine ahead.
Two Republicans are also running for controller. Daniel Mayo is facing Peter Kafalis for that party's nomination.
And former Congressman, you know this guy, Anthony Weiner, who resigned from office in disgrace, is seeking a return to politics, running for New York City Council, District 2 in Manhattan.
And in the race for Manhattan District Attorney, incumbent Alvin Bragg is facing a challenge from Patrick Timmons, an attorney who previously served in the Bronx DA's office. You can see live election results all night as they come in at the bottom of your screen.